Baloyi tried to pull one of the oldest tricks in the courtroom playbook, stirring fear by claiming the accused whispered the name of a police officer. But before the drama even took off, Judge Ratha slammed the brakes with a thunderous shutdown. No whispers, no speculation, and absolutely no nonsense in his courtroom. Let's unpack this explosive moment.
I've been requested by the accused, accused number 1 and number 3, to bring the following before the attention of the court, but with the concurrence of accused number 2, 4, and 5, and that is also with the concurrence of their defense counsel, my lord. They are saying that they are very concerned about the serious allegation that was raised against them, with no specific indication as to who actually said what was alleged that it was said.
What is the allegation?
The court will remember that just before we could adjourn yesterday, there was a concern that was raised by the state to the effect that there was a whisper that came from the accused doc assisting the witness who is currently in the box there, with as he was trying to stretch his mind to find out or to remember who the policeman that he wanted to talk about, as he gave his description, but he apparently then remembered that it was a certain Mr. X, but he mentioned his name a lot. So he said it in Zulu. That's when then I said, well, there's a problem with regard to Zulus being unable to pronounce the word ha, 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 ha. But then the state stood up and said, apparently there was a whisper that came from the accused doc assisting this witness to remind him who that policeman could have been, my lord. So they are saying that creates a very uncomfortable dent on themselves, because, and they're saying that even the court remarked that that has not been for the first time that it has been happening, because the court also said that on the testimony of Mr. Buthelezi, there were some gestures that were made that some other people, their throats would be cut and so forth and so forth and so forth, my lord. So they are then saying the state does not have to come up with this open-ended allegation. They specifically need to indicate as to who that person is, who the accused that actually whispered to this witness. And they are also saying that if that was a gesture, this courtroom is full of cameras, my lord. Let the cameras be scrolled back to identify the potential, the person or the accused who might have assisted this witness to remember the name that he was trying to remember. But more importantly, they are also saying that there are microphones all over the courtroom, my lord, specifically on the dock on which they are seated. There is also a microphone that would have been able to pick up that whispering, my lord. So they are saying it's not fair just to come up with an allegation of that nature without specific details as to who said those and whatever, my lord. That is basically their concern.
But if it becomes an issue, the footage can be viewed, and and as well as the recording. I think that will then put the matter to rest. But as I say, if it becomes an issue.
Is anybody accusing these accused
yes.
of having whispered the name to Mr. Zungu?
Yes. Well, what we put in record is that there was a whisper coming from behind.
From behind?
Yes. There was a long pause when the witness had to remember the name of the concerned police officer, and we then put in record that there is a whisper. But as I say, if it becomes an issue, my lord, the footage is there, it can be viewed.
No, I don't think it's necessary. Even I prefaced my remarks by saying, if it is true You remember that, Mr. Ramosapid? If it is true, unless one of the accused in the dog said, it's me, fine. But I said, if it is true, so let's that better end there. Because but the first witness, Mr. Sibiyane, it's not you. The second witness is not you. Number 3 is not you. Number 4 is not you. Number 5 is not you. Any one of you who whispered there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can volunteer if you whispered. I think the matter should rest there. Because even Mr. Baloyi, he doesn't know who whispered. He says there's a whisper from behind. Okay. Yes, let's proceed. I suggest we just leave it as it is.
As it is the court.
The court didn't hear that. The court didn't see that.
As it is the
Okay.
court. Let me take instructions, my lord.
Hello?
I'm saying, may I request to take instructions
Yeah, fine. Fine.
with regard to the response?
Yeah, fine.
As it please the court. My lord. The state says if it becomes an issue, my lord, indeed, after having consulted with the gentleman at the back here, they are saying, because this is not for the first time that such an allegation has been made, my lord, and they are arguing that this might have a huge impetus ultimately on the outcome of the case. In as much as they respect the court's decision that let this be just left at that, they are insisting that, because this is not for the first time, they are requesting, with due respect, my lord, that to put this matter at rest rather than it to just swept under the carpet, and these are their ways. They request that the issue be thoroughly investigated so that it becomes very clear that it never happened from what they are saying, because they are saying it could be that it had happened, but because there's a perception that the issue must just be swept under the carpet. In their minds, this will still be a hanging sweat over their head. So they request that let this issue be put at rest by having reference to all the media facilities that are here, madam, so that the
Having what?
should. Excuse me.
Having
madam,
reference to what?
by having reference to the media facilities that are in this court, so that this issue should be put at rest, my lord, so that everybody can be satisfied that indeed it never happened or indeed it happened. Rather
The
than
court has
treating
ruled
everything
that
as it is.
we must leave it at that because this court does not have any proof that it happened. I don't have any proof that it happened.
Those are the instructions that have been.
Yeah, fine,
requested
but
to
I'm just
carry on.
saying, tell them, I don't have any proof that it happened. Even Mr. Baloyi doesn't have any proof that it happened. He says there was a sound from behind. He never said accused number 1 or number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, or Mr. Umalo or Mr. Ramosipidi whispered, or even Mr. Dr. Sibanda.
That is their worry, my lord, because then.
And this court is so fair, you know. This court
Yes.
is so fair.
Yes, ma'am.
I will never take such a minute thing into consideration. This court is busy with evidence as whether this alleged charge
Yes, ma'am.
has been proved beyond a reasonable doubt.
That is so, ma'am.
Not that somebody drank cooler aid
Yes.
and what have you, please.
May I request that which the court has already said, my lord, be interpreted. so
Yes.
that we are also able
This
to
is a
follow.
serious case.
Yes,
Oh.
ma'am.
Baloyi walked into that courtroom with his usual recipe: a dash of drama, a sprinkle of suspicion, and a full spoon of emotional manipulation. He's been doing it throughout this trial, tossing out unverified claims, leaning on theatrics, and trying to sway the room with fear instead of facts. And today, he tried it again. He took a whisper, something he didn't even witness, and tried to turn it into a weapon. Another attempt to paint the accused as intimidating. Another attempt to steer the court's emotions. Another attempt to grab control of the narrative without proving a single thing. But this time, he ran straight into a wall named Judge Ratha. Before Baloyi could even stretch the moment, Ratha obliterated the entire accusation in seconds. No patience, no hand-holding, no gentle correction, just pure judicial thunder. Not in my court. It wasn't simply a shutdown. It was a lesson Baloyi desperately needed. Because if he learned anything today, it's this. You cannot build a case out of shadows. You cannot turn whispers into weapons. And you cannot keep throwing emotional firecrackers hoping the judge will jump. Ratha reminded him, brutally, that the law is not a playground, and that if Baloyi wants to survive in a court that demands integrity, he'll need to replace performance with proof. This moment wasn't just explosive, it was surgical. It taught Baloyi that theatrics might make noise, but Ratha decides what matters. And today, Ratha taught him the difference between drama and discipline, speculation and evidence, noise and law. And Baloyi walked out with a bruise he won't forget. Did Baloyi finally get the reality check he's been dodging? Was Ratha justified in shutting him down so violently? Or do you think Baloyi's whisper theory had any real value at all? What do you think this moment teaches about courtroom integrity? Drop your thoughts, I'm reading everyone. To all my loyal Skybridge subscribers, thank you. Your support, your fire in the comments, your energy, that's what keeps this channel alive. You're not just watching, you're building something with me. And if you're watching this from outside the club, don't stay on the sidelines. Join the Skybridge family. Hit that subscribe button. Be part of the movement, the analysis, the truth, the energy. We're growing fast, and your voice matters here. Let's rise together and fight for justice for Senzo Mayiwa and his family. Let's keep exposing the truth. Let's keep building Skybridge. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one. Stay informed, stay safe, stay blessed. Goodbye.